Trinidad and Tobago's government may be about to pour $356 million down the drain, wasted on quite literally nothing at a time when the government has been laying off workers, unable to pay public sector wages on time, or provide for wage increases. $356 million, while they squeeze you and I for every dollar that we have in new taxes and fees. Over the past few days, HDC Junior Minister Philip Edward Alexander has raised issue with a $165 million development in Aruca, citing that the work was carried out by the same contractor who was engaged to construct Balizé House for the PNM. Alexander claimed that the development has major structural problems and may have to be completely demolished. Separately, Alexander has questioned a $191 million development in Laventille, taking issue with it being built in a so-called hot zone, alleging waste and overspending under the PNM. Now personally, I don't believe very much that the UNC government says, although I'm under no illusions about the waste and mismanagement that may have occurred under the PNM. But if the country is about to waste hundreds of millions of dollars today, we should demand a public inquiry and hold the ministers responsible. PNM or UNC, I don't care. Trinidad and Tobago, let me explain the damage that corruption is doing to our society. Since the UNC's election in 2025, we've seen thousands of people laid off, departures and chaos amongst the leadership of state-run agencies, projects cancelled, potentially billions of dollars down the drain. Before the UNC supporters say good, they were all corrupt anyways, let me remind you, when the PNM was elected in 2015, we saw the exact same thing. Departures and chaos amongst the leadership of state-run agencies, projects cancelled, hundreds of millions of dollars down the drain. And this is the truth of politics in Trinidad and Tobago. As long as we keep voting UNC PNM back and forth with their secret financiers and preferred contractors, the country will never progress. We need another party to come in and rewrite the rules, to add systemic transparency, and to hold ministers accountable as billions of taxpayer dollars disappears into thin air.
I honestly don't know if this current government have any vision for Trinidad and Tobago and what direction they plan on taking Trinidad and Tobago into. Hundreds of education staff in Trinidad and Tobago face contract uncertainties ahead of the new school year. From CPEP to forestry to corporations to government ministries, people who work on year-to-year contracts, whose contracts was never renewed. And now to this, give or take, we're looking at roughly 75 to 85,000 people being left without a job since this government came into office. While some trade unions still negotiating, those who already negotiate still waiting for their fair share. Governments say they don't have enough money, but yet they have money to construct 30 joint army police posts. Apparently that costing a couple of cents and not millions of dollars.
What preserved the PNM over the last 70 years is because when these matters arise from time to time, we trigger the constitution of the party. We trigger the processes of the party as established over the 70 years. It is not a kangaroo court where these things are ventilated, where accusations are hurled in the public domain to destroy people's character and to destroy professional reputation. These are not the way in which we handle matter within this esteemed political organization that we are proud to be part of. This organization that is called the People's National Movement.
Good afternoon. It's time for a news roundup, and politics, governance and crime dominates news in the country. Political turmoil within the PNM San Fernando East constituency is among the major stories today following executive resignations and controversy surrounding MP Brian Manning's corruption allegations and chairmanship bid. Governance concerns are also mounting. A whistleblower report claims First Citizens has been weakened by the departure of 6 senior officers, while Angostura faces a boardroom battle involving its $984 million claim against CL Financial. Another Heritage Petroleum resignation has added to concerns over departures from state boards. In crime news, Immigration Detention Center escapee Jose Brito was recaptured in Wallafield. A Cuba attorney was charged with 10 fraud offenses, and contraband was intercepted at the Port of Spain prison. Meanwhile, soldiers rescued 5 people at Blanchisseries, Valencia. Farmers raised concerns about illegal squatting and predial larceny, and the police issued a fireworks warning ahead of Independence Day. I wonder if it really came from the police. In some positive news, Miss Trinidad and Tobago Georgia Lee Gill won the head-to-head challenge at Miss World in 2026. So that was a news roundup for you. Let us know if any of those stories piqued your interest and you want to learn more. Make sure and put it in your comments. Well, the comments below, of course. And we'll definitely keep looking at them and bring you some updates as soon as we have them. So make sure and stay tuned for the rest of the Monday evening. Take care.
Anyone from San Fernando East or any other member of the party that would be going to the media today or any other time and saying allegations that were being made were ignored by the political leader of this party, were being ignored by the leadership of this party, or being ignored by the General Council and the Central X, and therefore they had no choice but to go and, what's the saying, take linen into the public space. Such person would make that pronouncement or representation, they would not be speaking the truth. And that's a key point I want to make here. They would not be speaking the truth, and they would be seeking to mislead the national public and misrepresent the facts. So that is number one. These matters were not ignored, and there was an opportunity to present any evidence, any particulars, any details, any information to substantiate allegations to that inquiry team. And again, Deputy Political Leader Boudou indicated the outcome and the fact that a verification exercise is taking place as we speak, looking at party groups in San Fernando East. So it's easy to go on the media and tarnish people's names and so on, but to make any representation that your decision to do so was based on the failure of action of this political party, that is simply untrue and a misrepresentation of the facts. And we have to defend our party publicly where necessary, and those circumstances have convened us here today. I just want to reflect on the words of MP Imbert, because this is not the first time this party, or even other parties in this country, would have found itself under challenge. Some would say a rogue MP or an MP who has decided to step out of the norm and make claims and level accusations, etc. But the People's National Movement distinguishes itself by its discipline and the fact that we have a constitution that all members must respect.
Good afternoon, Trinidad. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I have a burning question to ask the Commissioner of Police or any judge, anybody that wants it. It's an open question. Open. Anybody can answer. Here we have this gentleman goes by the name of Kyle Joseph, because I don't know what name he's going by presently. Right? But everybody know him as Kyle from Belmont area, aka the boss. How we get the name boss? Because he used to get a lot of contracts. He was getting work for all the little goons and them. Okay, here what is my question? In 2020, I think 23, he and a female police officer now got fired. She don't have to work anymore. And so other people dress up like, take police van, dress up like police, and they go into a hotel. Was going there to unalive a gentleman. They get caught by the real police. She lost her job. He got charged, was out on $300 and something thousand bail or whatever the case is. My question is, his matter is still before the courts. How was it possible for him to leave Trinidad and Tobago? Why is he still able to travel? Why was his passport not confiscated? Why was he not on a no-fly list? This just go to show all you the level of corruption involved in this country. It also just go to show all you the level how high you have people in his pocket. Because let me tell all you this. If it was a normal citizen that not involved in no crime or anything, just an accusation, the first thing to do is take away your travel documents. You're unable to travel. But he flying up and down, I tell all you, like if he's a diplomat, like if he's a prime minister, how does he still have privilege to travel with such a high-profile case against him? How is it possible he's able to leave Trinidad and Tobago? They need to tell us that. Arrested and charged red-handed, a female police officer lose her job, but this man is allowed to travel. When normal citizens cannot do that, what kind of security holding for people in high places? Oh yeah, you hear what I just say? What secret does he have for people in high places that is still able to have his privilege to travel? Somebody tell me now. Somebody tell me. Don't worry, I will tell all this soon. I'm going to tell all this soon. Even if he changes his name or not, he should not be allowed to travel. There's a high-profile case against him involving police officer. Not fake police, They're dressed up like fake police, him and his goons and them, but an active police officer at the time gave them a police vehicle. They dress up like police officer, impersonating police, went to a hotel in St. Anne's area to deal with a gentleman. They got caught by the real police, charged. It is public knowledge, and this man still have the ability to be traveling up and down. All your Trinidad is a joke. If Trinidad is not a joke, what is the biggest problem? You have people in high places. You have a lot of information on people in high places. So they give him a blind that he do what he want. He running wild. Don't worry, I will tell you why he's able to travel soon. Let what I just tell you simmer for a bit.
Heritage boss resigns over questions of how it handed out its contracts. July 2025. Munilal hands Kurd Ramlal the instruments to Heritage Petroleum. One mandate, turn around onshore oil. 13 months later, he's asked to step down. Reason going around, questions about how Heritage handed out its contracts. His second energy chairman gone this year, Nairi Alfonso, resigned from Paria in May. Here's the part that matters. Most state companies made the news for losing money. Think about Petrochin and Caribbean Airlines. Heritage is the opposite. It's one of the few that actually makes money. Billions in revenue. And in just 6 months in 2024, it handed the government $1.5 billion. And the whispers are about contracts, who gets paid to drill, who gets paid to service the wells. It's not a company going broke. That's money maybe walking out of the side door in the one place that's bringing it in. When a broke company bleeds, nobody blinks. Your profitable one gets shaken and the government won't say why. That's not bad luck. That's a transparency problem where you can least afford one. Heritage helps pay for the roads that you drive on and the salaries that are owed. Why isn't anyone telling us why the chairman left? Leave it to us in the comment section below. What's your best guess on why the chairman resigned from Heritage Petroleum? Like and follow as always.
We saw that this year our government, Trinidad and Tobago, signed a very, very three-part deal with the United States of America as it relates to infrastructure and data centers. Let me just state, I am in no way politically affiliated with anybody or any political party, and I do not get paid for this. So it brings me back to the article that I read on Sunday, the 16th of August 2026, regarding the official statement of erecting Trinidad's first data center. We are living in a technological age, and the best thing for a country to do for its development is to move along with the changing of the tide. It will appear to create jobs and create a more sustained partnership, not just with the United States, but other countries that are fastly moving and developing with technology. In order for something to be created, something has to be destroyed. And the citizens, residents that make up the Golconda community, which is basically the vast diaspora, as they are sharing their concerns, I don't like the fact as if they're being shut down, because we have been hearing rumors rather that data centers are not just bad for the environment, it's bad for livestock, it's bad for humans because they're gonna consume a lot of water in addition to the noise pollution. I don't think data centers would necessarily cause all that noise based on research, but what about the EMF effects that it will have on the human body? What about the farmers there? Have we even run tests? A matter of fact, if you don't even want to test, have you even sat with a panelist of scientists or whoever specialist to get any type of consultation as it relates to the fine-tuning effects on the people? One of the number one psychological leadership trait is inclusivity. In order for people to agree with you, you must make them feel included. Why it is that it seems as if this government is not being clear with what they're doing, boy. And then when residents, concerned citizens ask a question, a direct response isn't given. So it's great. It's great that Trinidad and Tobago is moving forward. It is great that we could do our own research and measure the effects that it may have or may not have on us. But that in between, which is just simply coming and speaking to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, why can't we not get that?
What happens when the labor movement puts workers' issues on the national agenda and the government listens? The 20-point workers' agenda called for better wages and stronger protection for working people, and we're now seeing movement in that direction. The government raised the minimum wage for lowest paid public sector workers to $22.50, while the national minimum wage remains at $20.50. But it goes beyond that. Government is developing a new system to determine minimum wages, using inflation, productivity, labor market conditions, and the cost of living. And there is even a bigger conversation happening, moving from a basic minimum wage to a national living wage. This is what happens when the labor movement keeps workers' issues at the table. The 20-point workers' agenda is about results, not just promises. We have more work to do, but the movement has begun. If you are looking forward to a national living wage, comment below and let's hear what you think that wage might be.
Trinidad and Tobago. It have a lot of people in this country that I wish I could help right now. So many phone calls. People who are bedridden, stuck in a wheelchair, who ain't eat for days, who just all wrong catching their ass. And I want to reach out to citizens and call on citizens to give a little, to support something, to save a life. Because the phone calls, sometimes early in the morning or around the day, is not just about the hardships, but about the mental breakdown of the persons who call in, because they're seeing no way out of what you all called change in this country. They preach suicide. They want to harm themselves. They're just fed up. They want to just leave this world. And it hurts. They have children and families to take care of. children to send to school, school clothes to buy, books, food to try to feed these kids on their part so hard to come by that they're breaking down, and calls to the MPs or councillors or whoever running their constituencies going unanswered, trying to meet these people who run in the areas, those MPs, they are being put off or pushed away or ignored. I thought change supposed to bring real help for our most vulnerable, poor and catch-our citizens. But it is always that revolving door that closes in these people's face when it comes to politics and politicians. So I'm being real here. I will put up a bank number. It's up to all you. Just earlier on, I got a phone call from a very ill person with issues who preaching he or she wants to commit suicide. They're tired, they're fed up. School going to open right there. Nobody answering their prayers, their calls. They feel all alone and so helpless that they believe their way out is suicide. We do our best to keep hope alive, especially when it comes to children. So we asking some patriotic and selfless citizens out there to support this push. Let me keep hope alive in the hearts of those who are ready to give up. As I said, it is up to you if you choose to support. We also need some sneakers, black sneakers. We also need copybooks, notebooks, and other things that these children need for school. If it have anybody out there willing to pick up some booklets and sponsor it, or school uniform, we will get the details to you. Folks, it is hard in Trinidad and Tobago right now. The hardship is real. Many of you voted for change, not exchange. Many of you would have lost your jobs. Many of you would have taken your children out of school. Please get them in school this new term. I know it is hard for a lot of us, but we must not give up Trinidad and Tobago as parents. We must find that iron will in our hearts to keep going. This is the reality of politics today and us being governed under the UNC. Our children looks up to us as the hero. So let's keep being that hero. And for those where your hero flame is burning low, I will do my best to try to help. I now call on Trinidadians once more. Please, I don't normally do this. My late wife always said, I have too much damn pride. But when people calling you and they're ready to give up, what kind of young leader, I guess, truly do? So I'm coming out of my comfort zone. We need these sneakers, school books. Some people need uniform. Some people need food. We need a lot Trinidad and Tobago. Help us. Help some people who's at the end of their physical rope and ready to give up. Help us get those flames burning again and hope in the hearts and minds of those who are living in despair. As I said, I will put up the number. It is up to Trinidad and Tobago if you choose to support.
Attention citizens of this nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Due to the recent behavior, right, and the actions by this UNC government, let me call them out bold and brave. This UNC government, due to the recent behavior and the recent action and statements they're making against the citizens of this nation, it is not wise as a people, right?
Watch Extortion. Take a listen.
And your picture is now on my page, Nakisha Dion Byron I. It is now 1:29 p.m. in Trinidad and Tobago. You can go now and get your lawyer to bring me up. Later on, when I digest and I relax and I smoke 2-3 cigarettes, I'll be putting up the man picture. And then later on, your wife picture. Then later on, your sister picture. Then I will sit down after and do the entire video of the what me and you do. Why would I do that? Why would you not pay me my fucking money back?
Sorry. I apologize. But this is what Delilah is doing. And she is taking advantage of this man because he has family. And he does not want his wife and children and family members to know about what he wanted to do. But he thought that Mother, whatever she name was, Mother Divine, was legitimate. He thought that she was legitimate. Not knowing that Delilah came, charged him, and I said, in fact, I'm going to call him. It's not no shame in this game, you know, because there are many other people that she's doing it to. Talking about lawyer and lawyer and lawyer. I defend her, I worse than Kevin. Delilah is a little piper. And you have this man stressing now. Randy? How are you going? I know you ain't going good.
Yeah, I'm not doing too good. Yeah, I still on my car watching the program, yes.
But I want you to I don't want you to go into detail. But I want you to tell me, when you initially contacted Delilah, how much money she told you that she will take for the job?
Before was 5,000.
5,000 TT dollars, right?
Yeah.
Right. So 5,000 TT dollars is what you would have arranged with her, and you paid that 5,000?
Yes. Yes, I paid that 5,000. And then she keep asking for more and more and more and more.
So what happened after the 5,000? What was the next excuse when you paid the $5,000 to her?
If I can recall, she saying feeding, something she have to do again, and it would cost another 5,000.
She had to feed the spirits.
And then another one. Yeah, then another one for 2,000. Yeah, that I did send.
So in total, how much money did you send?
In
total, how much money you sent to Delilah thus far?
I can't remember, but it's like over 40,000, 50,000.
Over $40,000, $50,000.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yes, but I did send all the thing for you, all the
receipts,
screens, receipts. Yeah.
And this was sent where? Via Western Union?
Western Union, yeah.
So you sent the receipts via Western Union?
Yeah.
And this went to who? Who did the collecting for her? Next one.
I don't want to call a friend name, but one of her friends.
So it didn't go to her. She gave you instructions to send it to the friend.
Yes.
So I've seen here 4,000, 10,000, 2,000. Go again. $2,000.
Then she get 5,000 cash in Trinidad, yes.
10,000. And she got how much in cash?
5,000 cash in Trinidad.
Right. And what happened after that? Tell us about the scenario now where she told you about this person that she brought in for the work and all these different things.
Well, she didn't tell me anything about the person who was doing the work. It's just
So wait, before you reach
few
there,
months after
at that point in time, you thought she was the person doing the work. Come back to me. You thought it was she
Yes.
doing the work.
I thought she was doing the work, yeah.
Right.
So she said she did the work and she closed off everything.
Right.
And a few months after, I got a text message from someone else saying that I owe them 7,500 because Miss Delilah's give them some work to do.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I don't know nothing about that, and I'm not going to pay no money. And then Miss Delilah said that yes, she ended up giving him the work to do because I did send a message that she said that she did not inform me that she informed
But have you
me that he
spoken to
was
this
doing the
person
work.
at all that made the claims? Have you spoken to that person, like having a voice conversation with them?
No, they never want a voice conversation. No, always a text, always on text.
Go ahead. So when it is you told her about that you was not informed and all these different things, what happened after that?
He said he want 7,500. I paid that, and then
So you sent $7,500 to the man?
To the same person I sent it for the
for Delilah.
what's Western Union, yeah.
Right, go ahead.
And she went and gave him it, and then after they said they wanted 18,000 again.
18,000.
Or else they're going to start, or else they're going to start posting some pictures and stuff. And I say I can't handle. I don't want no confusion. I don't be much on Facebook and do this kind of stuff on Facebook. So I decided to pay the money. I sent them 6,000, and I told them I owe them a next 12,000 because I was on a holiday with my family.
Right. When you sent the 6,000? What was the last amount? What was the last amount you sent to her?
10,000 on Saturday.
The friend name is who? Helena?
Yes.
Anyhow, so you sent 10,000 Saturday gone here?
Yes.
So you sent 10,000 to her Saturday, and what she said after that?
Then she said that they kind of cover the cost of the ring because
tell me about the ring. What she tell about
the
ring thing? Yeah, tell me about the ring thing. What about his ring?
Some jewelry. She said some rings and stuff. She said, and she wanted back the 12,000 to get back the ring.
Right.
Then she said it was 17,000. The guy added more interest on top. And then after she said that the guy sold the ring, the jewelry to someone else, and all the jewelry is costing 80,000. So I need to pay the 80,000 to 100,000. Yeah. As we speak in here, she just messaged and said that everything she put on Facebook right now.
She could go ahead. Delilah go get locked up today. So she said that so she's saying that you have to pay her now $80,000.
$80,000, yes. That's why I reach out to you, because my brother told me about you, and I reach out to you and I give you.
Randy,
the
only reason that I'm doing this is because Delilah is accustomed doing this, and she wouldn't stop. She's watching the show right now as we speak, and she fully well knows she knows who she's dealing with. And the thing about it is, you're not the only person that Delilah has done this to, but because of the information that you would have given her, she's using that as your beck and call because she knows that you don't want anybody to know about that portion of your life, including your wife and your family and these kind of things. And that's why she would have, you would have been paying her, and she would have constantly been going back and forth.
Yes.
Right? Randy, when I'm off of this phone call, I'm going to call you, and I'm going to liaise you, and I'm going to put you on with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and we're going to deal with the ladder because extortion is a serious crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
I did phone the Point 14 station a few times.
And what
I phoned them about half an hour to 45 minutes ago, and they said that they continue reporting the Facebook post. They kind of do nothing for it.
I mean, they can't do nothing for it. They can't do nothing for extortion. That's what the police
person
told
by
you?
the name of, I think, Yes, the person by the name of I think it's Constable Manuel or something like that. I can't remember his name because I was a bit upset and angry when he said that they cannot do nothing about it. But there's another officer was last night. He talked and he went home to Delilah house last night, and then she was not home, and then she went to the station. Another officer named Ali. He took the matter up and he did something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's still doing, and this is a clear instance of extortion. So, I mean, I don't understand why the police would say they can't do anything about it when this is clear extortion. You're asking money, blackmail, I should say. It's blackmail and extortion. It's blackmail and extortion. Yeah. So she's doing all what she's doing, trying to take advantage of you and your good nature. And I mean, what, because you promised, no, I mean, let me be real, Randy. Next time, go to the Lord.
Yeah, I know.
Because Delilah is a fraud. She's a fake. She's not a Obia woman. And them kind of spiritual work, brother, I hear what I'm telling you. Regardless of what it is, sometimes we just have to turn, say we want prayers. And what's meant to be will be, brother. And what's not meant to be, regardless of how we feel and how our heart feels, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we just want to do all kind of work because we love this person regardless. And we want to make it work, so we go and we do X, Y, and Z and things to make it. And sometimes down the road, it is be real pressure. I'm giving you this. But we will work with you to get this done. And this will happen today.
Guys, thank you so much for always coming back. I don't take your support for granted, by the way. Just know like that. So, in today's video, we are talking about Trinidadians firing back at their government for some funny decisions that they are making. So, I don't know, what do you think happens when a government announces that hundreds of millions of dollars in spending? But then if you look at an ordinary citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, they are still asking for simple questions. Where are the jobs? Because we need. That's the conversation that's now unfolding across Trinidad and Tobago. Because you see, this is not just about numbers. It's about priorities. It's about housing, wages, good infrastructure. It's about solving, youth unemployment. And most importantly, it's about whether ordinary Trinidadians believe that the government spending is actually improving their lives. So this particular debate has become even more interesting because you see the government's 2026 media review includes a 25 million Trinidadian dollars allocation that is connected to the salaries and fees and the construction and also some outfitting of a Tier 4 data center. So those all items raise bigger questions because you see, if the government can invest millions into modern infrastructure, why are some people, some citizens still struggling to find meaningful employment? Why are some people still talking about the cost of living? Why is the question of government accountability still on? Why is the government spending announcements sometimes create a controversial debate? That is what we are talking about. But then there is something important that we really need to establish right from the beginning. I know, guys, you know we should not confuse public criticism with proven wrongdoing. So there are so many questions about corruptions that are not the same thing as proof of corruption. And also criticism of government, spending does not automatically mean that the spending itself is wrong. The real question here is much more important. Is Trinidad and Tobago getting enough value for the money? That's the question, because that is public money that is being spent. Anyway, if we talk about the money, because we really need to talk about that, because you see, whenever the government announces a major expenditure, then people will naturally want to know where exactly is it going, and most importantly, what will ordinary people receive in return. So the government's own mid-year review shows an additional $25 million TNT dollars being provided under the Ministry of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence for salaries and fees that is associated with establishment of a Tier 4 data center as well as construction, Now, you see, a data center might not sound exciting at first, so to probably as an ordinary Trinidadian. And, that can be strategically very important because you see, modern governments depend on secure digital infrastructure. So here, data centers can actually support government services. They can strengthen the data management part, they can improve digital systems, support cybersecurity, and of course, create a technology related opportunities. That's what you're talking about. So the investment itself is not like it's automatically a bad thing, no. In fact, Trinidad and Tobago has already been investing in digital infrastructure for so many years. And an official parliamentary report on IGO TV, TT, for example, it documented a Tier 4 modular data center, a project, and that's meant to benefit everybody. So the conversation gets interesting when we talk about data centers, because the question that we're talking about is not all about should Trinidad have a modern digital infrastructure, or how does that investment translate into better lives for citizens of Trinidad? You see, technology without opportunity will have people wondering, Anyway, let's now talk about joblessness in Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine you being that young. You finished high school, you finished probably university, and then you learned probably a trade here and there. You have all the qualifications, you've sent applications now and then, you've attended interviews, and then still nothing. That's very discouraging. And then at the same time, you hear about another major government investments, a project, being announced about economic development. And then you're left wondering, when does this development is going to reach us, the ordinary people? When I mean, those are very legitimate questions, because you see, economic development is not only about building, it's about people, employment, income, opportunity. It's about whether a young person can look at the future and say, I have a reason to stay here. And that is why job creation should be one of the measurements attached to major public investments. Anyway, I don't know what to think about that, because you see, the people will always ask how many jobs were created, how many are temporary, how many are permanent, how many are young people, how many businesses have benefited. That's all that people will always talk. Now, if you talk about the HDC housing project, you see, this is one of those issues that can instantly turn an economic discussion into an emotional one, because you see, everyone understands what it means to want a home, a safe place to call home, a stable place, a place where your children can grow up. So this housing development corporation exists precisely because affordable housing remains an important public issue. And there is a strong argument for government investment in housing, by the way, because you see, housing construction can create jobs. It will actually stimulate the construction activity, support contractors, and also, of course, the suppliers will benefit, and homes will be provided at the end of the day. But you see, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are still asking questions like how many homes are actually being delivered, who is going to qualify to live here, and how long will people have to wait. I mean, are these projects being completed on time or not? What's the cost of these units? They want to know the cost per unit. And of course, ordinary people are actually seeing that benefit, because you see, a government can announce a housing project and a ribbon can be cut, a building can be photographed, but you see, the people will want to know when will they get the key to their homes. Anyway, those are very, very valid questions. Now we have to address the word that makes every government nervous, and that is corruption, you know. And we're all talking about allegations, not evidence or proof, no allegation. Because see, remember that at the end of the day, a political accusation is not like a conviction. Criticism of government spending does not establish that money was stolen or misused. But then we should also talk about something important, because you see, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, they don't need proof of corruption before they can demand transparency. They can actually ask questions anytime, they can demand for procurement information. They can ask who received the contracts, the cost of the project. I mean, all these questions, they do matter, because at the end of the day, they are asking whether taxpayers' money was well spent or not. And this is not all about anti-government or anti anything. No, that's accountability. And honestly, governments should always welcome transparent scrutiny, because you see, if everything is above board, then transparency becomes protection. I know the government can say that is the contract, is the cost, is the contractor, is everything, the timeline, but then that's how public trust is built at the end of the day. So there's this issue of data centers and people looking for work. Now imagine two Trinidadians here. The first one is a tech professional, and then they get to hear about this particular project that the government is investing in data protection. Of course, according to them, they'll be like, finally, they're seeing an opportunity, and they're seeing their country, their island getting modernized. They are seeing a potential technology job. They are seeing Trinidad becoming more digitally advanced. But then there's another Trinidadian, someone who has been unemployed for months, even years, and they're like, oh, yeah, the government is spending millions on our data center. And they'll be very, very bad, feel bad about it, because they'll be like, okay, then if they're spending that much, then where is my job? And that's where politicians, and the people need to have an honest conversation, because a country cannot build its future by ignoring the present, but it also cannot solve today's problem by refusing to invest in tomorrow. So both of these things have to happen. Trinidad and Tobago needs infrastructure, technology, housing, skilled workers, name them, guys, because all these challenges is connecting these things. Anyway, Trinidadians are asking for better wages. That's the issue that almost every worker in Trinidad and Tobago understand now. Money in the pocket, a salary increase sounds good, right? And for many, many workers in Trinidad and Tobago, better wages can mean breathing room, food, rent, transportation, school fees, name them, But then wages increase also raises a lot of question, because how much can government afford? How are increased finances? How are finances going to be increased? How sustainable is it? I mean, when this increase happen, does it keep pace with the cost of living? I mean, how is it going to improve the productivity? All those, because you see, at the end of the day, the workers deserve a compensation. The workers deserve better pay, and the goal should be to create an economy where wages can raise, because productivity and economic opportunities are rising high. So why are people frustrated in Trinidad and Tobago? This is what we want to discuss now at the moment, because you see, the anger is not just about one project. It's not necessarily about one announcement. It is not even necessarily about one government. It's about accumulated frustration. It's about a person, a Trinidadian, getting to hear about economic development, looking at their bank. They are seeing no change. They're seeing opportunities, but then they're not employed. They are hearing about investment and they're still struggling. They are hearing about growth and they still wonder why their household doesn't feel better. That's the disconnect. The government looks at the situation through numbers, but then the people of Trinidad and Tobago experience the country through their daily lives. And of course, the government uses budgets, the citizens will see, but then what they'll see is the bills. The government will see projects, but the citizens will see jobs. The government will see infrastructure, but the citizens will see whether their lives are improving or not. And that's what we need to really look into. Now, if we get to flip this argument that you're all talking about, suppose you're sitting in government and then you have limited resources and you need to modernize the country. You need better digital infrastructure, better housing, public service, you need the services to improve. I mean, you need to create economic activity at the same time. And then you can't simply distribute money directly to everyone. And that really counts in a lot. Anyway, guys, I don't know what you think about all that, because at the end of the day, Trinidadians are actually saying the truth, nothing but the truth. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.